Hello everyone, today we'll discuss if-else statements. So what is the general format of an if-else statement? First, there is an if command, and then in parentheses there's a condition. And this condition is some logical expression. Then, if this condition is true, then the program will go to these parentheses and follow whatever and execute whatever instructions are in here. However, if this condition is false, then it will skip all this code and go down to the else, and look into these parentheses and execute whatever code is there. So these are some general points that you should follow when you're writing this code. The parentheses around the condition are required. And if it happens that there's only one statement to be followed, if the statement is true or false, then the parentheses can be dropped. What I mean is that if there's only one statement here, then these parentheses can be dropped. However, if there's more than one, then the parentheses should be written, because then the program will know where to stop following the code. And the if statement can be used on its own. It doesn't have to have the else statement with it. And these slides were all taken from the Java Methods, OOP, and Data Structures 3rd AP Edition 2015. So let's try to do a sample question. And we're going to do question number 12 from the Computer Science A by College Board. So first, let's read the instructions. It says, consider the following instance variable nums, and method find longest with line numbers added for reference. Method find longest is intended to find the largest consecutive block of the value target occurring in the array nums. However, find longest does not work as intended. So right now we know that there is this method and it does not work as intended. And that is our question. And that's the question we're going to be answering, which is how do we correct this method? And these are 5 options that we have. So let's go back and see this example. Let's try to understand this example. So it says that nums is an array, and it has all these values in it. And if we call find longest 10, then we should return 3. Then it should return 3. Well, let's try to understand what it's saying. So it says it returns 3, and why is that? That's because this program will run through all of these numbers, integers in the array, and then it will see, okay, 10 appears twice here, and then 3 times in a row here, and then twice here again. So what was the largest number of times 10 appeared consecutively? That would be 3, which is why it would return 3. Now let's look at this code. So first, this program defined nums as an array of integers. Then there is code to write the method find longest, and in parentheses there's a parameter, and this parameter will take an integer which is called target. And then there are 2 counters here, which is length count and max length. And we'll see how these come into play later. So what this line of code right here means is that this program will cycle through all the integers in num, and then that will be our current value. So to understand this code right here, let's compare everything to this example. So if the current value is equal to the target, so let's say this program is running and it's on this 10. If 10 is equal to 10, so it will compare it to 10. So 10 is equal to 10. So what the program will do is that it will increase the length count by 1. So length count now will be 1. And then it will go to the next one. Is 10 equal to 10? Yes, so it will become 2. But now it reaches to 15. And so now it will skip all this and it will go directly to the else. So it will say that if length count is greater than max length. So right now this is 2 and this is 0. So yes, 2 is greater than 0. So it will make max length equal to length count. So these both will be 2. After the program defines both of these as 2, here's where the problem is between line 12 and 13. Now we want to make length count back to 0. We want to say that length count is equal to 0 again, because now we want it to cut off. We want the program to cut off, and now we want it to start counting again. Oh, 15, No, that's not equal to 10. 15, no. 15, no. 15, no. So then when it goes back to 10, we want it to start counting again. So 1, 2, 3. So it will say that length count equals to 3. Otherwise, if we don't say that in between lines 12 and 13, that length count is again 0, then it would keep adding on to the length count that was previously 2. So then it would be length count equals to 3, over here, 4, and 5. But that's not what we want to know. We want to know the largest number of times 10 appears consecutively. So after we put that 12 in between line 12 and 13, that length count should go back to 0, then this program will work accordingly to what we want. So after all these 15s, it'll come here and it will say that length count equals to 3, and then 3 will be go back to max length, and then length count will be 0 again. And then when we reach these two, it'll be length count equals 2. So now since we're at 2 for length count and 3 for max length, if length count, which is right now 2, is greater than max length, well, that's not true. So we will ignore this code and we'll go back to here, which returns max length. And max length was right now 3, which is what we wanted in the first place. So to answer the question as to how to fix this method, the answer would be E, which is, as we discussed, that between line 12 and 13, the length count should be equal to 0.